So welcome, warm welcome. So today we hold this space here. Yes, we are celebrating the Earth Day. We come together not just to speak about the planet, but to tune into the deeper relationship we have with it. So this is the purpose now we are here. So the Earth is not separate from us. It breathes when I breathe. So its health is actually a mirror of ourselves, of our inner state. So first of all, I'd like to invite you to just stay in 1 minute silence. Let's set an intention together to restore something sacred within us and in this world. So think about what kind of energy do you want to carry through this space today? And what kind of inequality would you like to offer to this planet and to others and to yourself? Just let one word rise from your heart. Just one, maybe peace, maybe something else. I know everybody's being muted. You can just put in the chat box. Okay? Let's just stay in 1 minute silence. So you can start to put in the chat box. So meanwhile, together, we create a field of intention. And this is something changes everything. So you can continue to put in the chat box. And today I will be sharing some slides. So it's not a lecture, we just explore how to contribute, what to contribute to this earth together. Just share some of my thoughts. Can everybody see the screen? You can give me a thumb up. Okay. So this year in Brahma Kumaris, the theme of Earth Day is our power, our planet. Okay. So you can see now, this whole topic is about power. So we really need to understand what is our power. If we don't understand it, we will misuse it. Okay. So first of all, before we come into the exploration of what is power, but first we need to take a look at what's happening in the world. As we might all know, our planet now has been facing different types of crises, climate and environment, like global warming. So I check online. So January 2025 was the hottest January globally since records began in 1850. And we also experienced natural calamities, wildfires, floods, droughts, and storms, and something we just experienced in California. And pollution, air, water, soil, plastic, and also biodiversity biodiversity loss, the extinction of species. So over 1 million species are currently at risk, especially the pollinators, which are very essential for the food crops, and now are in dramatic decline. And also deforestation, just one small but very powerful example. Just in 1 minute, an area of rainforest, it's like the size of 3 football fields, is destroyed. So mostly for cattle grazing and the soy farming. So this destruction not only threatens biodiversity, but also increases the global warming because it releases stored carbon into the atmosphere. One more thing is the ocean degradation. You know, the coral reefs, they support about 25 of all marine life. But due to the rising sea temperature, over 50% of the world coral reefs have already died from the coral bleaching. And more are at risk. So which means fish are losing their homes and coastal communities are losing their food sources. So the ocean balance is shaken. And so the next one, the crisis of public health. So a few years ago, 2021, 2020, the pandemic. So we can see this crisis already happening around us. And economy. So this economy in recent years, the wealth inequality has reached record highs. So you can see the huge gap between the ultra rich and the rest of the humanity continues to grow. So as of 2024, like just 5 billionaires own more wealth than half of the world's population combined, which means only 4% of people who own the most of the wealth in the world, and they are actually deciding the condition of the economy in the world. So it's a huge imbalance in the world. And also in the conflict not only like between countries, the wars. Yes, the wars happening here and there. The war destroys the ecosystem and the pollute airs, water, soil, and the resources, which are diverted from healing the earth now into funding weapons. So also the conflicts, not only in that big picture, also between each human beings, there's constant conflict. Also in small families, we have conflicts. So the conflicts everywhere. And also the food and water shortage. So just for the past several years, East Africa has been suffering the worst drought in over 40 years. And yesterday I just saw, I don't know whether I'm preparing this or not, the Facebook just popped up one information. It's about the famine, which is happening in Sudan. So I saw this. So we cannot say like, yes, we have enough here, but so many corners of the world, they are suffering from famine, no food. And technology, the last but not least one, technology crisis. Yes, we have so many advanced technology now, which makes our life very easy, like AI. We don't even need to use our brain now. Everything put into AI, it pops up answers. But while it gives us convenience, it also destroys on the other side. So in today's world, AI, it creates a crisis of misinformation. Just like when AI first started, sometimes I saw the news and I show my kids, hey, just see this, and my kids can can recognize, hey, it's AI, you don't know. So we are also learning from what is right, what is wrong. So those technology, it really distracts us from truth. And also the technology becomes addiction, and then it will create disconnection, isolation from each other and from this world. So these are all the crises then that our planet is facing, but also as a resident on this planet, it's also what we are facing because we are connected. So anyhow, while the planet is facing everything, then we need to really check out what is the root cause of the global crisis. Beneath all these challenges lies a common thread. Because in this world of noise, we oftentimes look out for solutions. We look out from maybe political leaders. We ask them for solution. We want them to find a solution for us to change the world. And we look out for others. We want others to change their behaviors to give the world peace. But actually, the root cause is that disconnection. The disconnection with our true inner being. And this inner being contains the full power, that silent, quiet, spiritual power. But once we disconnect from this inner being, which means we start to be aware of our physical identities, our temporary image. And when we consider ourselves to be what we do and what we have, then once we fall short, when we fall short, and we will start to have self-doubts, self-judgment, criticism, even sometimes self-hatred. And this really depletes our inner power. So the root cause of the global crisis is because we lost this consciousness. Because that inner being, you can say it's spirit, it's a soul, but actually it's a consciousness. And this consciousness, and this, we can say it's an experiencer that is residing in this body, that is animating this body to function, to experience the life on this planet. Originally, we came not to take, not to own, but we are here to care, to share, to love, to give. But if I start to lose this consciousness of who I am, and then I got into this trap of this body, of all the physical matters, and I consider myself, I own everything. I have the right to control everything. I have the right to take everything. So with this connection, and then we tend to misuse our power. So first, we tend to control instead of care. So we often try to dominate nature instead of living in harmony with it. Just for example, we just mentioned the deforestation, to overexploitation of all the resources on the earth. So we behave like we can control everything around us. Also, like the earth is something to be conquered. So this is how we misuse our power. And also the profit. We put profit before the planet. Those big industries, they pollute the earth in the name of profit. They extract, they consume, and they discard, and leaving behind a trail of environmental devastation. But meanwhile, it's not only their problems. We, as consumers, what do? We often support this by what we buy or how we live. So the reality is that when we put profit before the planet, we are sacrificing our future, maybe unknowingly, because we often feel like, yes, this earth, if we don't have a bigger picture in our mind, we feel like this earth is so big. What I do, how much impact can it be? Can it affect this earth? It's just like you're living in a small house. Okay, if somebody messed up your house, you can be aware very quickly. Then you will clean it up because it affects you. You don't feel good when a house is messy. But now it's the whole planet. We might not see the real impact we have done to the earth. So we continue doing this. And the next one is we choose easy. We choose what is easy instead of what is right. Because we live in a world of instant gratification, like fast food restaurant, instant food, frozen food. You just need to microwave it, okay, it's done. Everything's fast, but convenient, but a lot of waste, a lot of pollution created. Yes, it's easier to buy cheap, disposable products and then to invest in something sustainable. And it's easier to take the fast, convenient ways than to consider the impact of our choices on the planet. But the easy path is not always the right path. So choosing the right path may require a lot of effort, may require some sacrifice. So it requires a willingness to change. But most of us might not be ready for this sacrifice, for this effort. And the next one is we forget. Just like we said, Earth is not separate from us, not something external, something to be used. Just like our bodies made of 5 elements. So literally it's just nature. And the harm we inflict on the earth, we are actually inflicting on ourselves. Because if we destroy the nature, and then we won't get any resources, food to sustain our bodies. So we must remember, like, every tree we cut down, every river we pollute, every species we push to extinction is a part of my own life. And the earth inside is a whole. But on the surface, yes, we might see their separation, different continents, different countries, even between human beings, different groups now. There are a lot of separations, divisions, but inside the earth, it's whole. Just like our inner being, inside its body, I'm this spiritual inner being, it's a whole. It's not separated. But only when I consider myself to be this physical form, we start to separate from each other. We start to lose the vision of we are just a whole, one humanity. And finally, is we fear change. If we lose inner power, we won't have the courage to change. So fear holds us back. It keeps us from changing, from taking responsibility, and from stepping into our true power. So oftentimes we fear the unknown. Yeah, we feel loss because we attached to everything physical, even attached to this body. The biggest fear is the fear of death in this world. So these are some aspects. Once we're not recognizing our true self, we disconnect from our inner self, and then we lose those spiritual powers, and then we will go out to use our physical power. So, which means we misuse our powers. And so now we need to explore what is our true power. As a spiritual being, originally, I contain all the powers. But if I disconnect it, those powers are being replaced by physical powers. And the more I use physical power, and the less I realize those spiritual powers are mine. So I don't have the capacity to use them anymore. But it is based on the self-realization. It's not about I have something to develop. It is something that I have to return. I have to return to my original self-realization of who I really am. So the true power is actually the power of the soul, the spiritual power, which is the silent strength of the soul that arises from a deep self-mastery, unconditional love, and alignment with truth. So the true power is not something, it's not about how much we can control. It's not about my positions in the world, my titles, my achievements, and how loudly I speak, how many muscles I have. So it's something much quieter, something deeper. So it's actually the power to guide our own mind. Because now people always say, oh, I cannot control my mind. My mind is going everywhere, like a monkey. It's impossible to control the mind. But the truth is, the mind's function is to create thoughts, yes. But you think deeply, who can put a thought inside your mind? And you are the creator of your mind. You are the creator of your feelings. So like in Brahma Kumari, through meditation, it is to bring us inside to really experience when I'm letting go all of everything I do, everything I have, what I can experience behind those images. If I lose those identities, do I still exist? Who I really am? So the soul, the spirit, the consciousness inside is the one who originally master your mind. We are not our mind. The mind is just a function. When we are in the body, we tend to think, we tend to make decisions, we tend to act. But every action, every word you speak comes from the thought, comes from one thought. And this thought creates that vibration. So the true spiritual power is the power to be able to stay calm when everything around me is in chaos. But how to do that? The first thing I need to realize, I am not my activities. Because in the world, people will think negativity is a part of me. It's normal to be negative. Yes, it's okay to have negative emotions, feelings. It's okay. But I need to realize they are not my true vibrations. As a spiritual being, my true energy is peace, love, purity, wisdom, and happiness. They are my true energies. Because when I use those energy, when I radiate out those vibrations, I feel good. I feel good inside. But if I use anger, that inner feeling must be heaviness. But do we check our inner feelings when we act, when we create a thought? Do we check our inner feelings? Just because we disconnect from our inner being, and then oftentimes we ignore our inner feelings. So this inner being is actually suffering inside, is crying inside, is in pain. But we just choose to ignore, and we choose to just to protect, to defend our temporary image. So if I can realize I am this powerful spiritual being, of which the inequalities are just peace, love, happiness, and truth. And then I'm able to function based on these inequalities. But the most important thing is I need to meditate and experience this highest being inside of this body. So if I have this true power, I'm able to choose kindness. When I feel anger is easier, and I can act with clarity when confusion surrounds us. And this kind of power doesn't come from outside. It grows from within through this awareness of who I really am. So it is also the strength to pause before reacting. We oftentimes come out to reaction very quickly. But if I have the true spiritual power, I'm able to pause, to being silent, to realign with my inner being, to make sure whatever I act, whatever I speak, whatever I think, that vibration I create is in alignment with my true inner being. And then the first experiencer of this vibration is myself. I'm actually benefiting myself. If I feel good within, if I feel comfortable within, I'm radiating out also the true power, the positive vibration, the peaceful vibration into the atmosphere. Because this world is made of vibrations, and it's created, the condition of the world is created by each and every human being. We create together. Yes, we can do something physical to change the world a little bit, but to really heal this planet, the main thing is to heal the self, to restore our spiritual power of the self. The healing comes from myself. Because if I don't have that self-love for myself, how can I love others? How can I love even this planet. I don't have the capacity. I don't even have the consciousness or realization to love others because I disconnect from my true inner qualities. So, like in the world, when we talk about Earth Day, they will say, oh, there are 4 R's or 3 R's or 5 R's. So I concluded 4R here, but I will talk about in a spiritual perspective because everybody knows, yeah, what it is refuse, what is reduce, recycle. I don't need to talk about too much about in a physical level, but in a spiritual level, what to refuse. So we need to refuse the absorption of negative vibration from outside. For example, gossiping. Gossiping is to spread negative vibes. But for me, if I understand what is my true quality, so I can create an aura which can protect myself, not to absorb or even to contribute more this negative vibration into the atmosphere anymore through my awareness of who I really am. So, but when you refuse something in spirituality, what Brahma Kumar is teaching, when you refuse something, the key is to maintain a loving tone, pure feelings, and good wishes, and to honor both your feelings and others' feelings. So this is very essential when you refuse something. So next, reduce. What to reduce in a spiritual level? So reduce, as I understand, reduce the noise within. The clutter of overthinking, of over consuming, of course, consuming the negative energy, consuming negative information, and reduce the overreacting, and reduce your attachment to your physical body, to the physical possessions, even to physical relationships. And reduce expectations. Because, for example, all the angers comes from expectation. That's guaranteed. If you're angry about someone, something, there must be some expectations. For example, if I drive on the way, if somebody, one car merged into my lane without turning on the light, I'm angry. Why? Because I expect that person to be my way. Hey, you need to turn on the light. So every anger comes from expectation. You can check. Yeah. Also reduce the endless desire for more. So let simplicity return. So this is important. And then the reuse. So what is reuse? I check on online. The definition of reuse is means finding new applications for the things that are considered to be waste, but without changing the original form. So I was thinking, okay, in a spiritual perspective, what we are reusing. So we are reusing our innate spiritual qualities, but without changing it, right? We are not changing anything. We are not changing to a better person, no. They are already in us. But we just need to realize I am this spiritual being who contains all the innate virtues, divine virtues. I just need to take that realization, awareness, and then I'm able to reuse them. But during the process of reusing all of those virtues, and then magically, I can say it's magically, those negative vibrations will naturally dissolve. So it is the teaching of Brahma Kumaris, the meditation Raj Yoga is teaching. We are not to get rid of, thinking to get rid of all the negative energies that we carry, because they don't belong to us. We just, through our journey, we just got influenced. We start to adopt. We start to consider they are our energies. We start to think they're normal. But through meditation, if I experience, no, I don't feel those negative energies are me, but I feel, yes, my true qualities are just peace. Because when I stay in that silence, stay in that peace, I'm really connected. I'm really anchored. I'm really grounded and settled. So this feeling, if you experience that, and then you are able to function, you're able to use. When the more you use, the more it becomes yours. And the less you will use those we call substitute energy, those anger, attachment, those kind of emotions. We will start to use less and less and less, because you will feel you don't like them anymore. You will like your true qualities more and more. Because first, once you use those true qualities within you, again, you first experience the benefit. Just think about if you, in a situation, you use anger. So what is the effect on you after you react, after you use anger? Probably your body will shake. Okay, you don't feel good after that. It will take a long time to heal, to recover from this emotion. But if that moment you take your spiritual power and you pause, you stay in silence and remind yourself, no, I'm peace. I choose peace in this situation. And once you have this courage to use it, and you can feel situation shifts more quickly, people also, that person calm down more quickly, and you yourself, you can feel the difference. You don't need any time to get out of that situation. It's immediate recovery. It's immediate. So again, we're doing everything for ourselves. We're not doing everything for others. But once I can benefit myself, it is also benefiting others. Again, everything comes from myself. So this is spirituality that is teaching us. No need to look around, look at others. Just focus on yourself. And then the next one, the last one, recycle. Again, I checked the definition of recycle is a process of taking waste materials and converting them back into raw materials to be used in creating new products. So it's different from reuse, right? It's changing the nature of the thing to make it into new products. So how to apply it to spirituality? So spiritually, like when situations come, when challenges come, yeah, superficially you feel like, oh, it's like an obstacle for me. It tends to obstruct my way from moving on, moving forward. But it is a limited vision. It's a limited thinking when we see everything as obstacle for us. But if I use my spiritual lens to see maybe some difficult people in your life, but if you use that spiritual lens, spiritual awareness to see that person, see that situation, and then you will create a new thinking process through which you will consider those challenges, situations, or even that difficult people to be a stepping stone for you to grow, to bring you to a higher point, and to bring you more capacity and more resilience. So everything happening in life actually to bring us to our highest version, to our perfect self. So this is actually to transform challenges into wisdom. So that's we call recycle. We recycle those negative situations, challenges into my wisdom, into my strength, into my capacity, into an opportunity for me to grow. So these are something that we can consider in your life. So again, to heal the planet is to heal the self, because the disconnection with the self, meaning I have, how to say, the disconnection with my inner being, which means start to, um, I start to damage this relationship with the self. Why? Because we use those substitute energy. When we use them, I'm actually damaging my inner being inside. So the first and foremost thing we need to consider is to heal this relationship with the self, to really love yourself, not from a physical level, not to just, oh, I treat myself a vacation, I give myself some good food. It's not self-love. Self-love is to really, really take care of your inner feelings, because our inner feelings never lie to us. But once I choose to ignore, and then I just disconnect myself further and further away from this inner spiritual being. So, and then some practices we can do to restore our inner power. So first of all is meditation. So meditation is crucial to restore our inner power. Why? Just like I just mentioned, if I just know I'm a soul, it's not enough. In the world, most people know I have a soul. I met a lot of people, they know they are souls, but why they are not living based on the soul, not functioning as a soul? Because there's no experience. And there's no experience of that you are truly a soul, a being inside his body. And through meditation, we can really go deeper and to experience and to rediscover our inner goodness. So meditation offers this opportunity for us. But if I just on a knowing level, I'm unable to function. I'm unable to use, which we call the inequalities. I'm unable to use peace, use love. But if I deeply experience this spiritual being, that it is truly me, it is truly me. I'm not my temporary image. And everybody knows this body is temporary. One day I will leave the body. It's not me. And if you have that deep, deep experience of this truth, And then it's easier for you to use those original qualities that the soul already has. I don't need to change anything to gain. I just need to return, to shed all my masks, to shed all my physical forms, physical identities, to shed the old way I think myself, to shed what others think of me, just to let go of all of these, just remain in that being, just be, feel. What kind of energy you feel comfortable with? And you will know the answer. And the next one, also important, is the plant-based diet. Especially if you're in a spiritual practice, like in the ancient scripture, it also said, it mentioned, as the food, so is the mind. If you practice meditation, if you want more concentration, food is very, very crucial. Because every food carries a vibration. We're not just eating the nutrition. Yes, the food is nourishing the body, giving nutrition, but we're not just eating nutrition. We are eating vibration, actually, because we are soul, right? We are spirit. We are that consciousness. So every food we put into the body also affects the mind. How it was grown, how is it prepared, and even the mood of the one who's cooking also affects the energy in the food, the vibration. So also when we eat with awareness, and the mind becomes lighter. But when we eat with stress, when we eat talking with people about negative topics, and then our mind absorbs the energy too. So pure plant-based food calms the mind. We call sattvic food. It's pure balanced food. But the heavy, processed, and violent food clouds the mind. Especially the food that's over-processed and chemically loaded, and also from the violent sources like meat, can increase inner restlessness. You just imagine like meat, how they process the meat. Through violence, through killing. And those animals, when at a moment they got killed, how they feel. What is the vibration in the slaughter room? All the anger, despair, all those negative energy. And those energy will stay in the flesh, right? And when we eat those flesh, superficially they clean, it looks good. But when we, actually those energy are carrying into that flesh. When we consume them, it become our energy. It become our vibration. So also eating plant-based food also helps the planet, benefit the planet. First, it protects the planet because it will use fewer natural resources like land, like water, like energy. Because like at the very beginning, we mentioned the deforestation is a result of the cattle grazing, right? They raise those animals, livestock. They need a lot of land. They need a lot of water. And also they produce far less greenhouse gas emissions than meat and dairy. And also, Yes, it takes thousands of gallons of water to produce just 1 pound of beef. Imagine that. Just 1 pound of beef. So again, it's also a way to help the planet to heal by changing our diet. And then the conscious living. So what is conscious living? So now everybody, like, if we are not living consciously, we're just doing everything like routines. Yeah, I have to go to work. I have to cook. I have to do this or that. I don't want to say this, but most of people like living like zombies without consciousness. It's something I have to do, but then it's not called living. Living is something I need to live with consciousness. I choose to do this. I choose to cook. I choose to work. Even though, yes, something, maybe this work, I need to do it based on I have to make a living, but maybe it's not my passion. But if you change that mindset, change the conversation vocabulary in your mind, it makes a big change. Yes, I choose to do it. And then you will enjoy whatever you're doing. So conscious living is to live awake, to be aware not only of our actions, but of our energy behind them. What kind of intention I carry when I'm doing everything. So it is the inner being, the soul, who is remembering that every thought, every word, every choice carries vibration. No matter what you do externally, but your intention inside decides. The conscious living is not about, again, it's not about perfection, but being present in whatever you're doing. So it is like if you're living in consciousness, it is asking gently inside of you. So does it come from love when I'm doing this, when I'm saying this? Is it come from truth? Is it in aligned with who I really am? So from a spiritual perspective, conscious living is very sacred. It means like you walk through the world with respect. You honor the earth as an extension of yourself, an extension. And every being as part of one great whole. So it is about this awareness I carry in my day-to-day life. And it is also an understanding that sustainability is not just about what we buy or what we use, but about how we think, how we relate with each other, and how we live. So when we live consciously, we no longer move through life on an autopilot mode. It's not something that I have to do. Autopilot. So we become like a custodians of the current moment. I really take care of this moment, not just simply pass through this moment. And then in doing so, we not only protect the earth. Because when we are living consciously, our vibration is accurate. We can say it's accurate because it's aligned with that inner being. And this inner being, if it's really aligned with our inner qualities, so it's also aligned with the true energy of the earth. Because you see the nature, everything in nature, they tend to provide, they tend to care, they tend to give. No matter what we have done to the earth, it's still providing. It's still providing, like the sun, it shines, it gives warmth. No matter what we do underneath, it's still providing. So it's their true nature. So if I live in my consciousness and as a highest being, my true quality is to give, is to care, is to love. So if I live consciously, meaning I always have to hold on to this true nature. I'm here to give, I'm here to care, I'm here to love, no matter what others doing. No matter what's happening in the world, I can never lose my innate qualities. So this is called living consciously. And then next one is a practice in Brahma Kumaris. We recommend traffic control. So traffic, like it's not about control the traffic on the road. It's the control the traffic in our mind because we have so many thoughts in our mind. It's like traffic. Just like on the street, you need red light, green light to control the traffic. Otherwise, there will be chaos. So in our mind, I also need to be aware what kind of thoughts I create. Because like we just mentioned, that every thought is the seed of my feelings, the seed of my action, the seed of my words. And every thought creates that vibration. It significantly impacts the world because the world is made of that vibration. So every hour in Brahma Kumaris, we will practice the traffic control. So if you want to download, there's a B Zone. It's a free app. So every hour, it will remind you to pause. So I think Divya Ben can put in the chat box, the B Zone. So every hour, it will play a very gentle music, very gentle. So it will remind you to pause, but how to pause? Pause for what? It just have you pause at this moment. Let go, even for just 1 minute, maybe, even just for a few seconds. But within this minute, within the few seconds, fully concentrated on your inner being. Set aside everything that you do, everything that you have, all the relationships and the places you are in, just let go. Concentrated on your inner being and experience and remind yourself, I am this eternal, imperishable inner being inside. Whatever I'm doing now, it's just temporary. I'm just experiencing what I'm doing, but I'm not attached to everything. So just use that a few minutes or a few seconds or 1 minute to pause. It can really keep you on track because we live in this world of noise. We live in this world full of expectation, judgment, full of doing and having. We really need to, from time to time, anchor ourselves back, return to our true self. And then if you do this traffic control, you will feel your energy is restored during the day. Because sometimes we feel after a whole day, we feel very tired, exhausted. Sometimes it's not because of how many physical works we have done. It's because we're not taking care of our mind. We oftentimes go into that negative thinking, wasteful thinking. we look at others, then we easily think negatively or easy to get into that judgmental thoughts. Then it significantly depletes our energy unknowingly. So if you can practice this, it will restore. For sure, it will restore your inner energy and your inner power. So these are the several practices that you can try in your daily life to help us restore our inner power. So now, once I transform myself, once I start to work on myself, and then it will have a ripple effect, which means my transformation within will impact the society, the atmosphere around me, the people around me. So when you restore yourself, something shifts around you. So this energy you bring to the atmosphere changes. And your presence may become medicine for others. It's like a healing medicine. People will feel comfortable with you because the vibration you radiate out creates that healing and a welcoming, warm, comfortable environment. So people feel very good around you because you take care of yourself from inside, from your thoughts. So this is like if you, maybe people will feel like, oh, how thoughts create vibration. You just, in your life, even if someone, they come to you, they don't talk, and you can really feel sometimes, oh, you feel that person kind of difficult to deal with. Why? Because maybe that person inside is a negative thinker. So this vibration, you cannot hide. You cannot hide your vibration, whatever is thinking in your mind. But some people you feel very close. You feel very comfortable because they're positive thinker. So people will never forget how they feel you. But they might forget how what you said or what you have done, but they will never forget how they feel you. So if you take care from inside, definitely your vibration outside, you create your aura around you. That aura is something attracts people. Yeah. And then you become more patient. Yeah? You become more patient in conversations, more grounded in your decisions. And actually, your inspiration, you inspire others, not by preaching, saying, lecturing, but by your just being your true self. Because if you understand what is your true self, understand your true qualities, and you experience your true qualities, and you just need to be. You just need to be there. You are inspiring people. You are influencing people around you. So this is how inner healing process becomes the world healing process. So it's like a ripple effect. So just think of the great movement in history. So they all began with someone who decided to live from truth rather than fear, right? They step up, they speak up, and from peace rather than reaction. So you don't need to be famous or loud to be able to change this world. You don't need a higher position to change this world. Never underestimate your power, your individual power. You just need to be aligned, and your light will spread very quietly but widely. So whatever you give out, it will also come back to you. So it's not only the ripple effect out, but also whatever you give, it will come back to you. Again, it's benefiting myself. First, I transform myself, I benefit the world, and then it will benefit myself again. It's like a cycle. So now, whatever happening in the world, yes, we might have seen darkness, suffering, sorrow, everything superficially becomes very extreme, but there is hope. There is hope in the heart of crisis. Because just like day and night, we have to go through night in order to experience day. We cannot skip night. So everything in this world works in a cyclic form. Everything. So we cannot just see everything happening on the surface. So we need to use our spiritual lens to see something deeper. So even in crisis, there is hope. Because extremes are not the end. They are actually the threshold of transformation. It means something has to change. We have to awaken. So it will lead to actually the metamorphosis first of ourselves. So when night is darkest, the dawn is closest. When all the old systems no longer serve, and then a new light breaks through. So every storm is to stir the soul to awaken, to remember its inner power, inner strength, and to remember our purpose, why we are here. We are not here to take our own. And to remember our inner, our truth, the truth within. So if this world is shaking, perhaps it's not falling apart yet, but perhaps it is being cleared. People will say like, oh, so many things happen in the world, natural calamities. Oh, they say the nature is in anger. But what I feel is nature is not in anger. The planet is not in anger. It is in pain. Whatever is happening now, it is just the earth, the planet is to release its pain through different forms. So once it's done, it's release. Once it's done, it's healing process, because healing process is like, if you know traditional medicine, it's like they give you herbs. It is actually to allow everything to erupt. But Western medicine is to suppress all the symptoms down. But the traditional medicine is to let everything erupt. So at the very beginning, you feel very uncomfortable. Oh, why I have to suffer this? But it's the start of the healing. So similarly, now this earth is in a healing process. So it has to release its symptoms through those calamities, through different forms that we just mentioned, the crisis. So for us, how to contribute? We just need to heal, continuously, constantly heal ourselves, to restore our relationship with ourselves, to restore our inner power of ourselves. And the good news is We don't need each and every human being to do this task. We just need a handful of souls who has awakened to make this dedicated effort to transform themselves, to co-create this vibration in the world. And when this vibration, this energy reaches the critical mass, the tipping point, and then the world will shift. It's a good news for us. So now it's our choice which way to choose. We still choose to descend, to live unconsciously, or we choose to ascend, live in consciousness, the highest consciousness. It's our choice. So now we can go into a short meditation. So we'll play a little bit music and the visuals. So take a moment now to settle in. Let your body find that stillness. Let your breath begin to slow. And feel yourself arriving, not just into this space, but into a very quiet presence of your own self. Breathe in and out very naturally without any force. And be very comfortable with this natural pace. You are just this natural being. Let the mind gently unwind. Now turn your attention inward, away from the noise of the world, and towards a deeper place inside you. This is a place that is calm, that is clear, that is silent and stable. This is where true power lives. Not a power to control others, not a power to chase or demand, but the very silent, quiet, stable power to be able to choose your response, to stay aligned with your truth, to be just at peace with yourself. And feel this now. This is your true self. This is not something you need to become. It is already who you are. There's a strength within. That strength knows how to adapt, how to remain still in the storm, how to return to peace, no matter what's happening around you. Can you feel this inner strength within you? That inner anchor. And that quiet resilience, not loud. And in that space, you're able to face everything inside of you. You are safe to let go of your old habits, your old pressures, your old patterns, and no longer serve you anymore. And ask yourself one question. Am I ready to release now? Am I ready to return? And feel the answers rise just from a very quiet knowing, not through thinking. You don't have to force anything. Just remember. Remember that you are a being of peace. A being of love. And these qualities are not far away. They are your true nature. They are already there. And now feel your connection to the earth beneath you, to the stillness of nature. When we return to our inner being, we begin to live differently. We need less. We consume less. We chase less. We expect less. Because we realize I am already full. I am enough. I have enough. Just imagine a world where everyone felt that way. Everyone is at ease within themselves. And free from pressure. Everyone is living simply, gently, naturally, with care, with love, with peace, with harmony. Let's hold that vision now and see it as already beginning, but starting from you. Let your breath anchor you in that vibration. Now let your presence, let your vibration radiate outward into the world. This is the quiet revolution and the restoration of the real power. Feel this power. Quiet, gentle, silent. When you're ready, bring your awareness back to your room. Carry this vibration with you into what you say, what you do, what you choose. Because every time you live from your core being, you also help the world return to its balance. Om Shanti. Om Shanti. Om Shanti. I am peace.
I am a soul, quiet and free, a being of light and purity. The earth is sacred, whole inside, a gift to love, not to divide. gentle and true, living with love in all we do. This earth is not ours to take or own. We're here to care, not stand alone. The trees, the sky, the ocean's song remind us how to live in calm. Let's walk with peace and softly say, we choose to give, not take away. We are the light, gentle and true, living with love in all we do. This earth is not ours to take or own. We're here to care, not stand alone. In stillness deep, we feel the call to rise in love and care for all. Together now, with hearts so bright, we serve the earth, we are the light.
Thank you everyone for joining today.
Om Shanti, Sister Sylvia. Thank you for the wonderful presentation. And thank you everyone for joining. For more details or more workshops like this, please visit our website bklosangeles.org. Om Shanti. Good night.